Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at maximizing your profits trading Dogecoin. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. East Coast time in the United States. So tune in. Every once in a while, I do a special live stream if there's something really radical going on with Doge. So you got to have your notifications turned on so you know when I go live. Trading Dogecoin or cryptocurrency, we'll be covering that and comparing some things with stocks versus crypto in this video. I also will have a little bit of the latest news just for my regular viewers to always be updated on that. But this is really going to be more about trading, some different things that I look at. So let's get into it. We'll take a closer look at trading strategies to maximize your profits with Dogecoin. So we'll start here by looking at the current Dogecoin chart. Dogecoin trading back up right now over 14.5 cents. We did have a dip yesterday that came down to 14.23, and then early this morning about 14.3. So again, low volume trading, kind of up and down. We're in this sideways market right now, post Bitcoin halving. That's where we are. Bitcoin has traded back up over 63,000, but did drop yesterday to about 62.4. So that's kind of the current state where we are with the trading. One of the things I always look at first is when I'm thinking about trading, buying or selling, I always take a quick look at what the market's doing. I use Crypto Bubbles for that. Just gives a quick overview right now over 24 hours. We're looking at a lot of the memes are down right now, WIF and Pepe, Floki, all kind of down. A few others like Theta and Phantom. That gives you a quick overview of kind of what is going on over 24 hours. And here's Doge down here, down about 2.7. But then I click over to the hour and I say, well, in the last hour, we have some movement happening. Very green in the market. Something like Bonk is starting to move at a higher rate. Doge is a little bit in the green over the last hour, but you got some things moving. But generally, you get the idea that the market right now over the last hour is a little more on the green side. So, for news, Coinbase watch Dogecoin's path to mainstream adoption. I did a video during the week about more adoption of Dogecoin. And what we're looking at here as far as Coinbase is this futures trading and what happens when futures trading starts on Coinbase. We'll get into that a little more in a minute, but that seems to be what's happening. Coinbase is moving big amounts of Dogecoin around with their wallets, and we all think this is in preparation for futures trading on Coinbase. Now, you can leverage trade Dogecoin on other exchanges right now. Most of them are not in the United States, but that does happen. There's a lot of leverage trading. You can short Dogecoin. You can do a 2x, 5x, 10x, 20x leverage trading for the longs, but there's always a risk with that. And then I also talk about SHIB a little bit and what's happening with SHIB, because I trade SHIB differently than Doge. And because SHIB, I'm just waiting for that next big run to happen. SHIB has a much lower volume of trading, and lately there has been less volatility. SHIB tends to just go on big runs every once in a while, where Doge has more volatility in its trading. And that's what I see. But SHIB has some movement happening in terms of its news, and we'll be covering that more next week as we sort of ramp up to this treat token and the layer 3 and all of that with SHIB. But just wanted to give that as kind of a comparison. Here's an article here about SHIB or Doge, which is better, likely to outperform. I think they will both do well, but I trade them differently, and that's what I see. Both had big moves. We had Doge, a big move up, came up to 22 cents, and then it's kind of fallen down. SHIB has one big move, and then it's kind of all been settling down since that one big move. We see that also in terms of derivatives, and we see and we look at CoinGlass in terms of the leveraged longs getting liquidated and the shorts getting liquidated. There's a lot more that happens in Dogecoin than SHIB. SHIB just doesn't have the same kind of leveraged trading going on with SHIB as we see with Doge. Part of this because Doge has been traded for so much longer, has a lot more whales involved that do a lot of heavy trading on Dogecoin. So that's a lot of what we see in the difference. And then we can go to CoinGlass, and I do this to see what's happening in terms of liquidation. Like, Bitcoin, $19 million in the past 12 hours has been liquidated on Bitcoin. And here's Doge, just over 2 million. But you can look at in the past, you can look and see what happens. Particularly, this was back on the 12th and 13th of April, which a couple weeks ago when we had, Iran sent all these missiles to Israel, and there was these fears of like World War III, and is this going to escalate into something bigger, fear in the markets. But a lot of people had these leveraged longs that were already in place. And then when the price dropped in Dogecoin, there were a lot of liquidations, $15 million liquidations over 12-hour periods there. Ouch. And after the first drop, then a lot of liquidated longs were opened, and then a second drop. So I do not trade with leveraged longs. I do not short. I don't get into that. If you want to try that, boy, you got to know what you're doing. If you're just blindly trading just on a hunch, be careful, because there are so many stories you hear about people getting totally liquidated and losing everything they have. Maybe you trade with maybe a 5 or 10% of your total crypto portfolio, just to try it out maybe a little bit, but don't go all into that. You hear people making a lot of money doing this, but be very careful. It's a lot like gambling. Will Dogecoin skyrocket 7 months after the Bitcoin halving again? We saw that in 2020. We had May of 2020 was the previous Bitcoin halving. And so then 7 months later, late January 2021, we started to have this big movement of Doge, and Doge went crazy. Will this happen again? Well, that's the big question, right? Is Doge going to go on another huge run? And how are you going to trade that? How are you going to prepare for that? Because that's where the big money is made, not in these like little fluctuations between 14, 15, and 16 cents. So you can skim little profits there, and people who do that, day trading or swing trading. But what I do is I'm buying and I'm holding for the longer term to when this next huge run happens. That's where I am right now with Doge, and most of my other cryptos is thinking in this types of strategy. Also because I want to hold the asset for at least 12 months here in the United States, because when I take my profits, I don't want to have the higher short-term capital gains tax. I want to have a long-term capital gains tax that's anything like 15 to 18% less in tax on the profit. So that's how I'm trading this right now. But we can see this big run happening eventually. It takes a big catalyst like I talk about. Is Doge going to be integrated onto X payments, be used for buying Tesla cars? Things like that is going to be huge for Doge. And so it's a waiting strategy for that. What's happening in the shorter term for May of 2024? I'll be doing a video next week, which will be my May Dogecoin price prediction and what's happening with that. So I don't want to get too much into the details here. But there are some events coming up in May that will be noteworthy for not only Doge, but Bitcoin and other things in the crypto market and the overall TradFi markets as well. So we'll be talking about those next week. One thing that is happening right now is the crypto market is becoming more mainstream in trading, particularly with the Bitcoin ETFs. We see that, and now with more futures trading, we see that as well. And this is from the street in a roundtable talking about crypto markets and contrasting with TradFi, traditional finance, the stock market trading. And one quote was interesting. As these Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs and so forth, as they have options listed on them, right now they don't. But as you know, the answer will be yes, they'll trade just like TradFi stuff, and the volatility won't be nearly as high. So what they're predicting is, as time goes on and we have more and more ETFs, more and more of these kind of futures options trading and things like that, you're not going to have these huge runs in the future of crypto as we've had in the past. And we already sort of see that from like the 2017 run to the 2021 run, and now what we're seeing so far, 2024, and hopefully into 2025, we see one last big run. That's kind of what I'm betting on. And after that, things could temper a little bit. You always have the ones or twos, right, that are going to go crazy, just like in stocks as well. You do have stocks that trade very well as well, but you got to be in the right ones. And the same thing can happen with crypto. So that was kind of an interesting quote. So can you day trade crypto or swing trade crypto? Well, of course, yes, you can. How you do it? Well, pick an exchange. Which exchange are you going to trade on? I like to trade on ones that have more liquidity, like Binance, arguably the best. They say, but in the United States, you can't trade on Binance. So what do? You can go to KuCoin or Kraken. They have more listed cryptocurrencies, but if you want to trade Doge, you don't need KuCoin or Kraken, and they have low liquidity. Now, what am I saying about liquidity? So we go to CoinMarketCap and we click on Dogecoin, and we look at the Dogecoin markets and where is Dogecoin traded. So on Binance, between Tether, USDT, or USD trades, 25% of all of the volume of Dogecoin trading is all on Binance. And here's Coinbase, which I use, Doge USD. That's only 4.5% or so of all of the Dogecoin that's traded is done on there. But that still seems to be good liquidity. And from there, it all goes down. Look at Kraken, 1%. KuCoin is less than 1% of the liquidity. What does the liquidity do? Well, the liquidity is what you actually see on trading. This is the Coinbase platform here live with Doge, and you see this trade history, right? And the trade history is how much Doge is actually trading hands on that platform. Right now, volume is really low. We just had a little bit of run of volume as Dogecoin traded up here a little bit this morning. It's retracing a little bit. Volume is ticking back down. So the trading is kind of slow here. On those other platforms, it's much slower. That's what we see happening, is much slower. Now, we go to the page 2 of this, we get down to like Binance.us is now like 0.03%. There's no trading happening on Binance US anymore because they don't have those fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. And so I don't trade on Binance US anymore. I tried to offload some other cryptos there, and it took forever because there were no buyers. And I was trying to sell to get off on a couple of things that I wanted to get out of anyway. Just not a good trade. So that's the liquidity part of it that I did want to cover in terms of where to trade kind of thing. Now, you can look at technical analysis. That's what I do, and I look at the charts. You got to study the charts. You got to see what's going on, both long-term and short-term in terms of your trading, so you know what's happening. You're not just saying, oh, it feels right, I'm just going to buy some and then I'll sell when it goes higher. But you don't know that. And the more you know, the more you're up in terms of the news, all of the news that's going on, and the trading. That's how you can be more successful day trading or swing trading. Now you can get into bots, automated trading software. I don't like the bots. The bots are going to skim, and you're going to get little bits of profits here and there, but the bots don't know too. I mean, the bot, you could be out of a trade in the bot when all of a sudden there's a spike in the price, or you could be in a trade with the bot and then all of a sudden there's a dump. So you can lose money or be out of profit either way with bots. So what are the best cryptos to day trade? Some of the best day trading cryptos: Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, BNB, and Doge. And they mentioned Doge here. One of the things about Doge is when you get to the markets and you look at the trading of Dogecoin, Dogecoin does have more volatility. Dogecoin goes up. You see Dogecoin go up. Here it went up to 22 cents here, late March. And then a lot of people sell. A lot of the swing traders, right, the whales, they'll sell when it's high, they'll wait for the price to come down, and they'll buy when it's low. And then wait for the price to come up and sell when it's high and then buy again when it's low. It looks easy when you're looking back in the history of the chart, but you don't know when it's live trading what it's going to do next. Here we are at 14.5 cents. What's Doge going to do next? Is it going to go up to 17 cents? It's going to drop into the 13s. We don't know that right now. That's what makes the trading risky, right? That's where the risk comes in. So what are you going to do? Well, we can look at what exchange. Can you day trade crypto on Robinhood? Yes, you can. But as I showed, Robinhood does not have a trading platform like Coinbase here. Robinhood is just your app on your phone, and you don't have this kind of data here to better inform you of what's going on. But there's no fee with Robinhood, although there's a bigger spread between the bid and the ask. If you don't know what that is, we talk about that more in detail on some of my live streams about that. But this is what I really key in on, is what is the spread between bid and ask here that helps me inform when I'm ready to make a trade, what's actually happening in the market at the time. But you can try out Robinhood. It's easy to use. But again, I wouldn't recommend it for doing something like day trading. Maybe some longer term swing trading. Okay. Again, if you're willing to pay a higher capital gains tax on your profits, then you can do that. On Binance, yes, if you're not in the United States, Binance is the best platform to use. In the United States, I use Coinbase. Now, I have links in the description below for joining Coinbase or Robinhood, either one. So use my link below to join one of those. And then Crypto.com, I'm looking a little more at. Crypto.com has some more wider range of cryptocurrencies to trade than Robinhood does, and even some that Coinbase doesn't have. But it also has this like wide spread between bid and ask like Robinhood. But I've been invited to be an affiliate for Crypto.com, and I'm looking into that right now, and we'll see what happens. But so how to trade? So there's this guide on CoinGuru, and you can read through this. You're trading pairs with Tether, BTC, whatever. But the biggest thing to look at is again the trading platform, and you got it. The trading platform is key to everything, and Binance has this as well. Again, you're going to have your spread between your bid and ask. You're going to have an area where you make your trades. You're going to see the charts, and you're going to see the most recent trades as they are happening on that platform. You need to at least have all of this information to inform you what you're about to do. So we can go onto Coinbase here, and we can say, look, now, in the bigger scheme of things, what I'm looking at now in terms of Dogecoin is on the Dogecoin chart. Here on the 4-hour chart, we saw back, there was the big dump after, that Iran-Israel thing. Dogecoin recovered, came back, and it retested 14 cents. Came back and hit 13.99 on that wick right there. So you see that. So I think, and this is the way I trade, I think there's probably going to be another dip down to that level. I could buy at 14.6 in the long term. If Dogecoin goes up to $1, 14.6 is good, but I'm a trader and I'm going to get the best price. So I'm going to say, well, I will put a limit order in at 13.9. So I go on to Coinbase and I say, I am going to set a limit order. I only have like $30 here right now on Coinbase, but for the purposes of this, I could do a market order and I'll just buy whatever the price is. A lot of people do that. They just DCA trade, or they just trade to buy whatever the current price is. You can do that as well. But I like to use limit orders, have a little more control. And I say, look, I'm going to look at not 14.6, but I'm going to change the price to 13. Let's go all the way 13.99. So I'll just say 13.99, and I'll just say max. And that'll be 223, so I'll just change this. I'll just buy 200 Doge at a limit order of 13.99. Then if there's another one of these wicks that comes down, I'm going to get that price. Will it go lower? It might. I don't know. But right now, where it's trading now at like 14.5, I think there's going to be one of these wicks that's going to come down again. Most likely, the market makers pushing the price down in order to liquidate more of the longs, as we saw in CoinGlass. That happens. There is some manipulation that happens. We don't have that data, though. We don't know what's going on. So I'm going to set this, and I'll just say buy. So now I have this limit order set that's right here to buy 200 Doge at $13.99. And there's a little small fee on Coinbase for this. Now on Coinbase, if you're going to like day trade and you're going to do lots of trading, then you join Coinbase One. And you have this small monthly fee, but you don't get fees on every trade if you want to do it that way. So you can do that. So that's how I do it. And then this Doge, I'm going to own for at least a year. That's my strategy of minimizing the profits I would lose by having a short-term capital gains tax as opposed to a long-term. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for the next big runs to happen. Most of my Doge I've owned for over a year now. I did buy some at the end of last summer at 5-6 cents. And then I bought some more recently at some of the dips, even at 17.5 cents was one of the dips here that I bought some after it was up at 22 cents. In the long run, that's going to be a good price. I think I'm going to maybe scoop some more up at $13.99 if we see that dip. So that's how, and I'm holding for longer term. I'm waiting for that big run to happen. Is that what we're going to see with Doge? We're going to see some big run that happens with Doge. So that's what I'm waiting for. Again, this futures trading probably isn't going to make a big deal in terms of Doge's price in the long run. But overall for Doge, there's going to be another big run that's going to happen. I want to be ready, have my bags packed, and then we'll talk about how we sell in another video. But right now, this is about trading. And again, I'm right now in this buy and hold strategy, not doing active day trading or swing trading. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about trading Doge? Are some of you using bots? Are you doing swing trading or day trading? Let me know. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.